29 Republican seats to 9 for the Democrats. We have lots of great candidates around this state. All the guys up here are men. On our next stop for the House, we'll be featuring Rain Brown, who's taking on the House Majority Leader. Kathy Wright is a fantastic candidate taking on the House Speaker, and on our tour we'll also be featuring Beth Dawson. But here we have 4 men that I'll be introducing to you. The basic problem the Democrats had is that the House Democrats, they came in with a recession, and they had exactly the wrong prescription for a bad recession. They decided that the thing to do was promote government employment, raise spending, and to do that they had to raise tax rates a lot. Now you constantly heard that they were cutting, but the final figures show that actually over the last 2 years spending has gone up some each year when everybody else is tightening their belt. And the people just cannot stand that. They do not like it. They do not like the excesses of Washington, and they don't like the excesses of Raleigh. To talk briefly about this, I'm going to introduce all 4 of them to begin with, and then just call them up here briefly. Steve Henyon, where's Steve? He's right here, running in North Raleigh in a very competitive district. Steve's a realtor and is won a primary outright just by sheer hard work, and I believe he's going to be in the House with us. We have Tom Murray, who is a pharmacist and an attorney. Also serves on the Morrisville City Council, where he has been the voice against raising taxes and giveaways to foreign corporations, I believe. We have Don France, who's a member of the Cary City Council and will be running in southwest Raleigh, but also Cary. He's at least as well known as his opponent, and he certainly works harder and knows business. And finally, we have Mike Stone. Let's hear it for Mike Stone. Mike brought his cheering section here. I was in Sanford 2 weeks ago on a Saturday night, and there were 200 of these people screaming for him at a barbecue on a hot Saturday night. So each of these guys are going to come up and just talk for a minute or two, and then we'll proceed. Steve, in that order.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Honored to be around such great guys, and also having the least resume as far as politics goes, probably up here for these guys. What I want to talk to you today about is jobs. North Carolinians and businesses are suffering today. A lot of them are doing it. They're suffering because of the high taxes that we have and the lack of certainty about what's going to happen to their kids and to their businesses and their families. Voters have overwhelmingly supported the fact that jobs is the #1 priority that the state needs to take on. They understand a simple formula that jobs, increased jobs, is going to help increase our economy, i.e. revenue, that will help us build our education system, which will then be an attraction to outside businesses to come back to North Carolina to increase their jobs, increase the revenue. It's a simple formula out there. However, we have legislators that are out there who don't believe this. Take my opponent, for instance, in January of this year, where the highest unemployment North Carolina has been facing in 30 years. His top priority was campaign funding of political campaigns, taxpayers funding political campaigns. That was his #1 priority under the highest unemployment. There's a disconnect, and I guess one could say to me, as a small business owner who's been in small business since the early 90s, hey, Steve, you're being a little unfair. He hasn't been in a position to hire anyone, ever. You could say, heck, Steve, he hasn't even worked since 1999 in the private sector. And you'd be right. You could actually say, look, Steve, he's only had a part-time government jobs in the last 6 years. He doesn't know how to create jobs. And I would agree with you. And I would say, well, you know what? It's time then that you need to step aside and let people take on a task at hand that have the qualities and qualifications to address issues that North Carolina is facing today. So we have people here who are running today, all of them, I guess, business owners, I believe, of the 4 candidates that we're highlighting here. All of them understand the ups and downs of business. All of them have had the trials and tribulations of what's going on in business today. Most businesses that I'm talking to today are hanging on by their fingernails. They're just hoping that in the next election in November that we can have a change in direction, that we can actually get some certainty brought into the marketplace where we can start making decisions on what's best for our businesses, what's best for our families, how to hire more people. We recognize